I pulled my daughter from soccer camp and told her that she can't see her ghetto friends anymore. My daughter Emma is 13 and she's been playing soccer since she was like 6. She's actually really good at it too. Made varsity as an 8th grader, which is pretty rare at her school. So when this fancy soccer camp opportunity came up over summer break, I was all for it. Cost me like $800, but whatever. If it helps her get a scholarship later, then it's worth it. The camp was at this really nice facility about 45 minutes from our house. Indoor fields, professional coaches, the whole thing. Emma was super excited because she'd be training with girls from all over the state. I figured it would be good for her to meet other serious players and maybe make some connections. First week goes by and Emma comes home talking about these 2 girls she met, Destiny and Kayla. Now I'm not gonna lie, when she mentioned their names I already had some assumptions, but I kept my mouth shut because I didn't want to be that parent, you know? Emma seemed really happy and was talking about how funny they were and how good they were at soccer. Second week, Emma asks if Destiny and Kayla can come over to our house after camp one day. I said sure, figured I'd meet them and see what they were about. When they showed up, I'll be honest, they weren't what I expected. Both girls were super polite, said yes ma'am and no sir to me and my wife. They were really well behaved and seemed like good kids. Destiny even helped my wife clean up after dinner without being asked. But here's where things got weird. That night I overheard Emma on FaceTime with them, and the way they were talking was completely different. Lots of cursing, talking about boys in ways that made me uncomfortable, and just generally acting way older than 13. I chalked it up to kids being kids when parents aren't around. Third week, Emma comes home and tells me that Destiny and Kayla invited her to hang out at the mall on Saturday. She says their older sister was gonna drive them and pick her up. I asked some questions about this sister and got really vague answers. How old is she? Like 16 or 17? Does she have a license? I think so. What mall? The one by their house. I told Emma I needed to talk to one of their parents first before she could go. That's when things got really fishy. Emma got all defensive and said their mom works a lot and is hard to reach. I said that's fine, I'll wait. Then she says, well actually Destiny's mom doesn't have a phone right now because it got shut off. Red flags are going off in my head at this point. I decided to do some detective work. I looked up both girls on social media and found their accounts. The stuff I saw made my stomach drop. Pictures of them at parties with clearly older kids, some with alcohol visible in the background. Posts about skipping school and talking about things no 13-year-old should be talking about. One of Destiny's recent posts was her complaining about having to go to court with her mom for something. That weekend Emma kept pushing about going to the mall. When I said no without apparent contact, she had a complete meltdown. Started screaming about how I was embarrassing her and how I didn't trust her. She said I was being racist because Destiny and Kayla were black and from the other side of town. That hurt because it wasn't about race at all, but I could see how it might look that way. The final straw came during the 4th week. Emma's coach pulled me aside after practice and said she'd noticed Emma's attitude had changed a lot. She was being disrespectful during drills, talking back, and using language that wasn't appropriate. The coach said she'd never had problems with Emma before and wondered if something was going on at home. That night, I sat Emma down and tried to have a real conversation. I explained my concerns about her new friends and how her behavior was changing. She got defensive again and said I didn't understand because I grew up privileged and didn't know what it was like for kids from tough backgrounds. She said Destiny and Kayla had taught her about real life. I asked her what she meant by that, and she told me about some of the stuff they'd shared. Destiny's dad was in prison. Kayla's mom had 3 jobs and was never home. They both had to take care of younger siblings all the time. They told Emma about kids at their school who carried knives and about fights that happened in the hallways. Emma said it made her realize how sheltered she was.